if an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared. The same, obviously, goes for women.
Welcome to Crooked History, a CK 3-story playthrough, the show that brings you the most unbelievable tales from history. Mostly because we're making them up. In this series, we're going to take a closer look at the fictional life of Alfred Athelwulfson of Dorset, a man who was born for greatness. At just 18 years old, Alfred was a newlywed and a loyal earl and vassal to his best friend and brother, Petty King Ethelred. He also had a close friendship with his brother-in-law, Petty King Burgred of Mercia. But Alfred's journey was just beginning. He was about to establish one of the world's most lasting dynasties. Join us on a journey through the twists and turns of Alfred's epic love story, and his rise to power as one of the most important figures of his age. We'll explore his battles, his triumphs, and the political intrigue that would shape his legacy. So prepare thyself, dear viewers, because this is one story you won't want to miss. I'm your host, Stephen Vale, and this is The Kings Who Never Were, Wessex, a Crooked History. Alfred was known as an honest and just young man. Alfred's regent and tutor sent a letter to Petty King Ethelred in 866, when Alfred was just starting his journey. This letter is stored in the archives at the Dorset Historical Society's library, and gives us a glimpse of the teenager who would become king.
To my esteemed lord, the most noble Petty King Ethelred, may God's favour be with you. I am writing to you today to express my admiration for your younger brother, the ever-diligent Alfred Ethelwulfson of Dorset. As bishop of this fair land, it is my duty to keep a close eye on those under my care, and I have seen firsthand the qualities that make your brother a true asset to his country and his people. In an age where many nobles might take their privileges for granted, Alfred is a shining example of the virtue of hard work, dedication, and humility. He is a true servant of the Lord, and I have no doubt that his devotion to our shared faith will continue to guide him as he grows in wisdom and stature. I pray that you will continue to give your brother the support and encouragement he deserves, for he is truly a beacon of hope in these troubled times. Let us all endeavour to follow in his footsteps and strive to rise above our own shortcomings, that we may one day make our mark on history as he surely will. Yours in Christ, Bishop of Dorset.
We don't know much about his life as a young boy, but we do know a little about his life as a young vassal. Much of his time was spent wooing his future queen. Alfred and Ealhswith were inseparable, even when they were apart, according to their daughter Violet. Ethelred was at war with the northern menace, but the war had not yet gripped young Alfred. In May of 867 he journeyed to a tournament in Montague to see these Norse boogeymen in the flesh. He won the chess tournament, surprising the nobles. Alfred was content serving his brother, but in May of 868, Alfred's life would change forever. His oldest and closest friend, King Ethelred, died due to a fall from his horse while hunting. Alfred was thrust onto the world stage as the new Petty King of Wessex, and with the title he inherited the war, and his first child, Violet, was born. Alfred's first taste of war was in the Battle of North Riding. While technically history knows that battle as a loss, it was the kind of loss any military commander would accept, outnumbered nearly 4-1. Alfred made the Norse army pay for every inch in blood. Ultimately, Alfred ceded the battle to the Norse army. He made the victory painful. According to written reports from the time, for every dead Wessex man, there were 3 northern devils. Alfred realized that multiple wars was untenable. So, a quick peace was hammered out with Halfdan Whiteshirt of Jorvik, which allowed Alfred to turn his attention on the sons of Lodbrok and their invasion of East Anglia. In 869, Alfred and Ælfswith welcomed a second daughter. Bleia was born. Alfred was preparing to send his soldiers home and to thank them for their dedication. He woke up that morning thinking of going home and spending time with his family. This is a letter from the Dorset collection as read by curator Lily Wessex, a distant descendant of Alfred.
My dearest Ælfswith, as I write these words, my heart is heavy with longing for you and our little ones. The battles I fight may be won or lost, but what truly sustains me is the knowledge that I fight for a future where we can all be together again. Every day, I think of the sound of our daughter's laughter, the warmth of your embrace, the sweet scent of your hair. These are the things that keep me strong when all seems dark and uncertain, for they remind me of the beauty and joy that await on the other side of the struggle. When this war is finally over, I look forward to spending time with you and our girls, seeing the world through their innocent eyes, and reminding myself of the things that truly matter in life. For there is no greater gift than the love of family, and I hold that truth close to my heart always. Until we are together again, my love, your devoted husband, Alfred.
Instead of being able to send his men home, he was greeted with news that Haystein Montagu had invaded Mercia. In 871, his namesake and first son was born. With a male heir secured, murmurs were heard throughout the kingdom. The people referred to their king as Alfred the Great. This letter fragment was discovered in Oxfordshire in 1998. We do not know who the letter is from or even whom it was intended for, but it does give an insight into the thoughts of King Alfred's subjects. Always on the lookout for reliable partners in the realm of trade. And I feel that our transaction thus far has been quite satisfactory. It is my understanding that King Alfred is continuing his efforts to restore law and order to the land. Though I myself am not overly concerned with the king's business, I have no doubt that his efforts will have implications for merchants such as ourselves, and I hope that we can continue to adapt and thrive in the years to come. With regards to the wool, I would be grateful if you could let me know the estimated time of arrival for thee. On the 14th of January in 872, Alfred led his army against the full might of Montagu's forces. The Battle of Gloucestershire was close, the armies evenly matched. Haystein charged Alfred's flank, but Alfred countered with a charge of his own. In the melee he was struck down by a formidable warrior. The men of Wessex almost broke, seeing their king lying on his back, dying on the field. But Mercia's army showed up to steady the line and to carry the day. Alfred was rushed home to his loving wife. He was not expected to survive the night. But survive he did, far longer than anyone expected. Bleia wrote in her journal that her mother wouldn't allow her father to leave this earth. She willed him to live. In February they amputated Alfred's leg and removed an infected eye. As Monty Python might say to Alfred, it was merely a flesh wound. And that's it for today's episode of A Crooked History, The Kings Who Never Were Wessex edition. We're exploring the life of Alfred Æthelwulfson of Dorset, the loyal vassal and brother of King Ethelred, and glimpsed the romance and intrigue that would shape his legacy for centuries to come. Join us next week as we take a closer look at Alfred's eventful life after the Battle of Gloucestershire, when he was seriously injured and forced to retreat to the marshes of Somerset. It was here that the tide of the war began to turn, and where Alfred's true grit and determination were put to the test. From the ashes of his defeat, Alfred would rise again, emboldened by a newfound sense of purpose and a desire for revenge. We'll explore how he marshalled his forces and waged a guerrilla war against the invading Danes. So don't miss next week's episode of A Crooked History, The Kings Who Never Were Wessex edition, as we continue our journey through the fascinating and often twisted world of alternative history. Until then, goodbye.